What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolve video. Alright, so we're going to be moving on into the Havencraft class, and we're actually going to stick the neutrals at the end of this video, so stick around to the end if you actually want to see the neutral reveals and the character reveals and stuff like that. So this video is going to be longer than the rest of them. But I don't want to waste anybody's time. Let's go ahead and start with our first card. So we have Santano Crown. So she's a 3-cost 3/3. We can evolve for 1. We can also race her for 1. But when she comes into play Fanfare, we select the enemy leader. And if our leader has less defense than it, then we give our leader +2 defense. So if our opponent is playing a little more aggressive than us, which, sometimes can definitely happen when playing Haven cards, being able to play a follower to give ourselves some health would be pretty nice. Alright, and looking at Crown Evolve, so it turns into a 4/4, but on Evolve you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and then you may put up to 2 Uma cards from among them into your EX area, and put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. Alright, so of course you are definitely going to be using this in the Uma deck, so if you're going to be playing against the aggressive deck and you want to, play a little more mid-range, and being able to look at the top 4 for any 2 Uma cards to put into the EX area is really going to accelerate our game plan. Alrighty, next up we have Majuro Romanu. So it's a 5-cost 5/5. You can race her for 1, but when she comes into play, you choose up to X, where X equals the number of Majuro family cards on your field. You can either 1, select enemy follower in the field and banish it, or 2, give this follower Storm, or 3, give your leader +2 defense and draw a card. Alright, so it looks like this is going to be the Majuro family card. So I know the Majuro deck was going to be something that was going to be playable finally. So now we have the Majuro family. That's going to be something to really look out for. So we have 3 Majuro family cards onto the field. We're going to be doing all 3 of these wonderful effects. Alright, but moving on, we have Jungle Pocket. So it's a 2-cost 3/2. You can race it for 1, but when it comes into play Fanfare, you discard an Uma card and then draw a card. And if you discarded an Uma card that costs 7 or more, you can draw 2 instead. You can also activate to engage this card and then select the enemy follower in the field, and if there are at least 3 Uma cards on the field, you can deal it 2 damage, and if there are at least 5, you can deal 2 damage to its leader. Alright, so it looks like this is going to be the 2-cost card that's going to go in a lot of the Uma deck. So not only is this a low-cost card that's going to discard an Uma card, which is going to filter for a lot of the Uma decks that we do already know for, like 7 centimeters ahead and stuff like that, to go ahead and get Uma cards into the cemetery. But we do have cards that are going to be really nice, like in the 7-cost Katsuragi Ace. So being able to discard the Katsuragi Ace off of this card is going to allow us to draw that 1 extra card. And if we have those extra play points in overflow, we're able to spend the extra 3 play points to go ahead and play Katsuragi Ace and have a Storm follower on the field. Alright, but next up we have Wonder Acute. So it's a 3-cost 3/3. We can race it for 1, but on race we give this follower +1/+1, and then we may summon an Uma follower that costs 2 or less, or a Uma amulet that costs 2 or less from our hand. But when this follower comes into play, we draw a card. Alright, so just so you know, I absolutely love the 2-for-1 special, and on top of that, we do kind of get like a 3-for-1, since we do get to replace this card by going ahead and playing this card, drawing a card. If we do race this follower, we can get the 2-cost follower, which is going to have its fanfares, or the amulet, which is going to have its fanfare. That's really going to be helping us out. Alrighty, next up we have Majuro Ardon, Hopeful Petals Dancing in the Night. So she's a 6-cost 3/3. So we can race her for 1, but on race you give this follower +1/+1. You search your deck for up to 2 Majuro followers and or Majuro family amulets that cost a total of 6 or less, summon them, and then shuffle. So it looks like this is going to be a wonderful centerpiece, or I guess late game piece, for the Majuro family member. So getting a 4/4 and then getting 2 cards from your deck to put onto the field that are going to have the fanfare effect, or going to check if you have X amount of Majuro family cards. So being able to do all of that is going to be pretty nice. Alright, so sorry about the translation here, soldiers, but we have Matenkin Fuku Gitaru. So it's a 7-cost 7/7. So we can race her for 1, but whenever a Fate's Forecast is put onto our field, we give our leader +7 defense. But when it comes into play, we shuffle a cemetery into our deck, look at the top 7 cards, and then we summon any number of cards named Fate's Forecast from among them, and put the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. But when this card dies, last words, you shuffle this card into its owner's deck. Alright, so I'm not gonna lie to you, soldiers, I completely forgot about Fate's Forecast. So this is going to be a really nice amulet that's really going to be helping you for a lot of this deck. So you're going to look at the top card of your deck and you're going to look for a 7-cost card. So this Matenkin Fuku Kataru is a nice 7-cost card that you can get. When you do play it, of course, you're able to shuffle your cemetery in like the top 7. Of course, you can only get a maximum of the 3 Fates Forecast, but being able to heal a total of like 21 in 1 turn is absolutely insane. But, if you're able to actually get all 3 of them in 1 turn, that's pretty cool. But even hitting 1 is just like insane. Just being able to heal 7 for just hitting 1, and then being able to remove constant followers. But on top of that, if they do need to take care of this card before it gets back to their turn. So being able to put this card back into your deck for you to do this all over again is a pretty nice thing. Alright, next up we have Major Palmer Moonlight Devil. So she's a 1-cost 2/1, and we can race her for 1, but she has Storm, and this card doesn't refresh during your start phase. And at the start of your main phase, you can spend 1 play point to refresh this card. Alright, so another Major family card. So, some early game aggression, that's pretty good. I think this is going to be solid in the aggressive Uma deck. If it's not, then hey, that's fine too. But this is really going to be used in the Major family deck just because this can be the extra 1 play point card that we need to get off of the 6-cost Uma card that's going to be getting the total of 6 from our deck. So we can get some Storm damage out and then get the 5-cost Major family follower while having a total of 3 Major families. Alright, and last but not least, we have Bring 'em Home Please. So it's a 2-cost amulet. So when it comes into play fanfare, you select the enemy follower in the field and deal it damage equal to 2 times the number of Major family cards on your field. Whenever a Major McQueen is put onto your field, you select the enemy follower in the field and deal it 3 damage. And then lastly, you select the unevolved Major McQueen on your field and evolve it. Alright, so for those of you soldiers who do not remember what Major McQueen does, you select the amulet and put it into your cemetery, you bury it, and you can deal 3 damage to either a follower or the enemy leader. So of course you want to burn the enemy leader for 3 damage while getting rid of this follower, and on top of that, being able to evolve the Major McQueen, which is going to allow us to get this amulet back into our hand. So essentially the last words is going to pop off, and then we evolve that Major McQueen. The Major McQueen evolve is going to allow us to get this amulet back into our hand, or any other amulet that we might be using for Uma back into our hand so we can replay it. Alright, and then we have our SPs for the set here for Havencraft. So if any of you Havencrafters out there are going to be looking for these Uma cards, I hope you're going to be able to find them because I know they're going to be worth something and they're going to look absolutely beautiful. Alright, soldiers, so I didn't want to make a separate video for the neutrals because it would only take probably like 2 minutes. So I'm going to attach the neutrals to the Havencraft. I know it's on the title, it's just going to say Havencraft, but I'm just going to go ahead and stick the neutrals at the end here. Alright, so looking at our first card, so we have Progenitors and Guide. So it's a 6-cost 4/4. When it comes into play, we discard an Uma card and we recover 4 play points. We can also activate to engage this card, and then we can choose one. We can either 1, select the Uma follower that costs 5 or less in our cemetery and add it to our hand, or 2, select up to 2 face-up cards named Cared in our evolved deck and turn them face down and then gain 1 evolution point. Or we can 3, give each other Uma follower on our field +1/+1. Alright, so this card is pretty nice. So not only is it essentially a 2-cost 4/4, which will allow us to engage to do one of these 3 abilities. So if we're using up our carrots a whole bunch, we're able to, use these carrots up and then gain that evolution points while having those 4 play points back. We can get any Uma follower that's 5 or less. So if we're in those big later turns, we can get any Uma follower that we might have thrown away by burying the top, or, cards that were just removed later on in the game. And then on top of that, if we're going for a very wide turn, we can give each Uma follower on the field +1/+1. Alrighty, next up we have Baliamo. So it's a 2-cost spell card, so we can search our deck for a Uma follower, reveal it, and add it to our hand, and then shuffle. Also, I think this is a pretty nice spell card, so if we're going to be looking for any Uma follower that really starts our engine, we can go ahead and just play this card, add the Uma follower, and on the very next turn we can go ahead and play it and then get our engine started. Alright, and lastly we have Ryoka Sugiri. So she's a 6-cost 2/4, so when she comes into play, we may summon an Uma follower from our hand and give it at the start of our end phase, return this follower to its owner's hand, and at the start of our end phase, we'll select a leader or an Uma follower on the field and give it +2 defense. Alright, so soldiers, I don't know if you are all caught up with the jank, but this is the card that is going to let us rock Hishi Akabono. So I know that's the 10-cost Dragoncraft follower from Uma that allows us to heal 10. So if you're just constantly just looping the heal 10, if you manage to get there and you're at a pretty good health state, you're just going to be playing Hishi Akabono and healing 12 per turn. I think that's just the jank, of course. I know we're going to be playing a little bit lower to the ground, the real decks, but for all the jank players that are trying to make a Hishi Akabono, which I know there are a lot of players out there, this is going to be the card that's going to cheat that card out on turn 6. Alrighty, and then lastly, soldiers, we have our new arts for the carrots. So of course you can still use the OG carrots from before, but these are the new carrots that are going to go in the evolved deck if you want to use whatever version of the pictures, of course, from your favorite scenes. So these are the new carrots, and if you want to use the old ones, you can still use them, but these are the new arts from that are going to be coming out in the set. But alrighty, soldiers, I appreciate you so much. This has been all of the reveals. I am really sorry that it took me this long to release everything. Some things came up, and life happens. So it took me a little bit longer to make these videos because I've been doing other stuff. But best believe I will still be on track starting tomorrow with everything that we need to know, starting with the Uma stuff. And of course, soldiers, I want to go ahead and apologize again. I am very sorry that I was not able to get these things out on time. I know you Havencraft enjoyers are looking at me like I'm crazy, so I apologize a whole 100% from the bottom of my heart. But please make sure you are safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah. TRINN. Just to get